maybe you put a set of parameter, you could spend $1 million, no more, without calling me, but whatever it is, I don't want to hear from them. I just want the outcome.
What about resilience and hard work? How much does that matter to you? Because I know you said they can work when, as long as they get the job done. But are you trying to figure out if they are a bit of a psychopath in terms of hard work, if they're possessed, obsessed?
I don't find the ones that are psychopaths, hard work, are actually the most successful. It's not the case. I find the ones that are eclectic people that have other pursuits that are nothing to do with the business they're in, that do crazy stuff. Maybe it's riding motorcycles in the desert. I don't know. These are the examples I'm just using because I'm living with them. And say, look, I've got to go and ride a bicycle across the desert. Okay. How many days are you going to be gone? I don't know, maybe 3. Okay. Is that anything that is immediate? That tells me that if you look at the year's outcome from that person, you're going to find that they probably outperformed. You want the eclectic ones. You want the ones that are not just robots working. It's going to be cheaper to get a robot if you want a robot. I'm going to buy those too when they come available. But I want people that have creative and unusual solutions that, just think outside of the box. It's really interesting that way.
The other thing that everybody wants to hear from you about is how to keep and grow your wealth. Because, making wealth, I kind of understand through the lens of entrepreneurship, take a big bet, hopefully have an exit or, draw a dividend or make profit from a company you've started. But in terms of what you did and your relationship with your money, what is the most important things for someone to understand who's just trying to grow their money?
No, I learned this from my mother, and I actually built a whole indexing company around it. When I was very young, I found out something so she was fiercely independent. She's one of 3 daughters of Lebanese descent. My Irish father, my original father, biological father, was Irish. She didn't. Yeah, there she is, Georgette. So I haven't seen that picture in a while.
Okay.
She was very independent, and she never ever wanted a man to control her life. So she started at an early age when she was working for her father. They paid the girls, the family all worked there, and she worked in the accounting department and billing, but she got paid cash. And so she would take 20% of that cash each week, and she would put it into 2 asset classes: stocks that pay dividends, large cap stocks, and telco bonds. 7-year telco bonds paid about 6.5% to 8% back then. She bought the long bonds, and she had that portfolio for 55 years.
Wow.
She never spent any of the principal, only the dividends and the interest. She put my brother and I through college. And, she took care of her family and her sisters when they fell on hard times. But her rule is very simple. No more than 5% in any one stock or bond of the portfolio, and no more than 20% in any one sector, ever, ever. So when a stock ran up past 5, she'd sell it down. This is not genius. This is just diversification. And when she passed, and I was the older brother, and I saw the portfolio, because the lawyer said, listen, you got to come down here. You're the executor of the will. And I said, yeah, but my mother was middle class. He said, no, you got to come down here. She kept her account secret from both of her husbands. She wanted her own independent money. And back then you could do that. And damn, what that portfolio did, the performance was extraordinary. It was beyond any hedge fund guy or anything. 55 years. When I saw the results, I said, that's it. That's how I'm going to invest for the rest of my life. Exactly the way Georgette did. No more than 5% in any one stock ever, no matter what it is, and no more than 20% in any one sector, with the exception of real estate, which is a very large part of what I have in net worth. And it's a third. So that's broken the rule, but there's reasons for that, and I'm very happy with that portfolio.